Alright, my friends. You are watching Political Point Magazine. Where the right is right and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. Tonight we have a special edition for you. It is the Disconnected States State of the Narcissist Union address. Obama's final State of the Union, and we will analyze the president's final speech of his failed presidency. And we will go over every little detail of it. But tonight, I bring you our State of the Union. Alright, my friends, welcome to another in our episode of Political Point Magazine. I am your humble host, William Mitro. Now, my friends, we just witnessed history with the failed presidency of Barack Obama, right? And I'm going to go through some moments in time here, all right? But we are now witnessing, okay, that the economy is not that great. All right. The unemployment rate, which the numbers are botched up. Okay. The government is cooking the books on this unemployment rate number. Now, unemployment rate at 5%. Are you kidding me? All right. Now, that doesn't include the people that have just given up and stopped looking for work. Okay. You know, it's just ridiculous. The accurate unemployment rate number is probably close to 20%. All right, because you have 93 million people out of the workforce now because of Barack Obama's failed policies. All right, and this just goes to show you, my friends. Okay, and I'm going to put a lot of emphasis or whatever into this, because you know, I found that in analyzing all of President Obama's policies, okay, we sat through an entire hour of Barack Obama's final State of the Union address, okay, which was last week, okay, and you know, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot striving on here, all right. Now, President Barack Obama, and as you saw in my intro there, that we feel that Barack Obama is disconnected. And when I show you some of the clips of the State of the Union, okay, you will agree with me on this, okay? Because our president has not been a leader at all. Okay, he has not brought the country together as he stated, or as he campaigned when he first ran for president. Okay, as he campaigned, he said that we were going to be all together now. We are in this together, he said. Right? But a lot of his policies and a lot of things that went on during his presidency, his seven years. Okay, in fact, let me get into first. Okay, let me get into first this. Okay, I'm gonna put this beginning segment here in my Political Point magazine's political points of vision. Okay, and in which I can clearly show you. You remember this moment. Okay, it was supposed to be a defining moment in which the newly elected president Barack Obama was supposed to be the one that changed and fixed America for the better. All right, but this was the defining moment when Barack Obama in 2008. Remember this? Okay, remember this? Yeah.
I was there too.
But however, my friends, we can fan, and that was 2008. Okay, but you remember back in 2009. Okay, in 2009. Okay, in 2009, the president shoved through his stimulus package, almost $900 billion stimulus package, which didn't do anything for to help help the country. You know, it didn't do anything for those so-called shovel-ready jobs. All right, and it sparked off the Tea Party movement. Okay, and then our president in 2009, the Democrats had full control. Okay, and they had full control of the Congress. All right, and okay, the president basically got everything that he wanted. Okay, they shoved health care down our throats. Okay, which in the planning of this, okay, and mind you, the stimulus package, the Democrats didn't allow any of the Republicans to put forth any good ideas in there. So it was rammed down because they felt that it was a state of emergency. Okay, and on terrorism, okay, the president pulled out all of our troops out of Iraq, and thus formed. All right, and then he underestimated ISIS, and then his executive orders on immigration, and which caused a lot of illegals, a lot of stuff to happen illegally into this country. All right, and so it's total chaos, you know, and then there was gay marriage. Okay, but all in all, he was supposed to fix the country, but instead he changed and transformed it for the worse. All right, and so this, my friends, I want you to understand that our next president needs to come into this as a leader who will keep us safe, who will boost the economy with common sense, you know, with common sense policies like tax cuts. You know, cutting taxes works. Cutting taxes works, my friends. Listen to me. All right? That we cannot be in worse shape. Okay? America cannot afford any of the liberal socialist policies of the Democrats. Okay? In fact, we cannot even trust the Democrats anymore. All right? And this is what I've been trying to get through to your little heads. Okay? We have one Democrat running that's involved in scandals, you know, and is under investigation by the FBI over her handling of classified information and classified emails and things. But we turn now, my friends, to Obama's final State of the Union, at which, my friends, this was his last State of the Union address, and we have suffered greatly under his presidency. All right, he didn't fix anything. He didn't fix anything, or anything much. But we turn now to Obama's last State of the Union, and this is why I say that he has been totally disconnected. Okay, and in his speech, you will see that he is totally,
I think
disconnected. All right, but you know he also invited. There were several people that he invited. He invited dignitaries from other so-called dictatorships, and he even invited CARE. The group CARE, the Muslim group CARE, which associates themselves with terrorists. All right, and you know, but I want to show you this. Okay, I want to show you this. Okay, even the Little Sisters of the Poor, who are suing Obama for his health care and the contraception thing in his Obamacare. All right, they were there. All right, but with all of this, my friends, with Obama came in to the front.
United.
Okay, and I want to get into this because it's very, very crucial. Okay, Obama came into his last State of the Union, but you know, ask yourself as we go into this election year. Okay, are you better off now than you were, say, 7 years ago when Obama? But also interesting to note in this the House Speaker is
Let's bring this to order.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and the distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
right, now before I go any further, I just want to mention that several parts of his speech are a bit boring, and there was somebody in that crowd that actually could have attested to that, to how boring the speech was.
Thank you very much. Everybody, please have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans. Tonight marks the 8th year that I've come here to report on the State of the Union. And for this final one, I'm going to try to make it a little shorter. I know some of you are anxious to get back to Iowa. I've been there. I'll be shaking hands afterwards if you want some tips. Now, I understand that because it's an election season, expectations for what we will achieve this year are low. But, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the constructive approach that you and other leaders took at the end of last year to pass a budget and make tax cuts permanent for working families. So I hope we can work together this year on some bipartisan priorities like criminal justice reform and helping people who are battling prescription drug abuse and heroin abuse. So, who knows? We might surprise the cynics again. But tonight, go easy on the traditional list of proposals for the year ahead. Don't worry, I've got plenty. From helping students learn to write computer code to personalizing medical treatments for patients. And I will keep pushing for progress on the work that I believe still needs to be done. Fixing a broken immigration system. Protecting our kids from gun violence. Equal pay for equal work. Paid leave. Raising the minimum wage.
You can't raise the minimum wage without cutting the taxes. Hello?
All these things still matter to hard-working families. They're still the right thing to do. And I won't let up until they get done.
Okay, well, and, yeah. We won't let up until you're out of office. Your whole presidency has been a disaster, has been a failure, okay? The economy's not that great under President Obama.
But for my final address to this chamber, I don't want to just talk about next year. I want to focus on the next 5 years, the next 10 years, and beyond. I want to focus on our future. We live in a time of extraordinary change. Change that's reshaping the way we live, the way we work, our planet, our place in the world. It's change that promises amazing medical breakthroughs, but also economic disruptions that strain working families. It promises education for girls in the most remote villages, but also connects terrorists plotting an ocean away. It's change that can broaden opportunity or widen inequality. And whether we like it or not, the pace of this change will only accelerate.
The pace of this change will only accelerate. Now, you see the look on the Little Sisters of the Poor? Now, he stood up there, and he sounded exactly like he just got elected president. Like the last 7 years didn't matter. Okay, and you know, I thought it was gonna be a legacy speech, but there was none of that in there. Okay, but he sounded like he was just fresh off the election of 2008. Okay, like he was just elected, like he forgot about his 7 years as president. Okay, he's just totally disconnected there.
Been through big changes before. Wars and depression, the influx of new immigrants, workers fighting for a fair deal, movements to expand civil rights. Each time, there have been those who told us to fear the future, who claimed we could slam the brakes on change, who promised to restore past glory if we just got some group or idea that was threatening America under control. And each time we overcame those fears. We did not, in the words of Lincoln, adhere to the dogmas of the quiet past. Instead, we thought anew and acted anew. We made change work for us, always extending America's promise outward to the next frontier, to more people. And because we did, because we saw opportunity where others saw peril, we emerged stronger and better than before. What was true then can be true now. Our unique strengths as a nation, our optimism and work ethic, our spirit of discovery, our diversity, our commitment to rule of law. These things give us everything we need to ensure prosperity and security for generations to come. In fact, it's in that spirit that we have made progress these past 7 years. That's how we recovered from the worst economic crisis in generations.
Not quite. Okay. We haven't recovered from the worst economic crash. We haven't recovered. Obama, your policies have made it worse. Let's see. Wages haven't gone up. Let's see. There are no shovel-ready jobs, and the jobs that have been created in the last 7 years are all part-time jobs. Okay. The unemployment rate, we have. Let's see. 93 million people out of the labor force, out of the workforce. Okay. And then we have another 23 million living in poverty and on welfare. You know, another 53 million on food stamps. You know, it's just ridiculous. You know, this isn't progress. You know, you made it worse.
That's how we reformed our healthcare system and reinvented our energy sector.
Wrong again. We didn't reform the healthcare system. Let's see. Ever since Obamacare was enacted and signed law, okay. Let's see. 10 million people lost their health coverage because of Obamacare. Let's see. Premiums went up, deductibles went up, and several, and we are short doctors now. and many people can't even go to the same doctor that they had before because of Obamacare. We didn't reform the healthcare system, and on energy, the guy rejected the Keystone Pipeline, which would have made us energy independent. Okay, so when we get our new president, the next president is going to repeal all of the damage that Obama has done, and he's going to approve the Keystone Pipeline. Okay, we need to drill, baby, drill. Okay.
That's how we delivered more care and benefits to our troops coming home and our veterans.
Once again, very disconnected. Okay, we haven't taken care of our troops. No. You remember the VA scandal? Hello, Obama. Whatever happened to that? Remember that? Okay, you fired you fired the head of the VA for that, but the new one isn't much better, and there's more incompetence in your government. Okay, we're not taking care of our vets. And many of the vets have died just trying to get their health care. All right, now you see the disconnect here.
The freedom in every state to marry the person we love. But such progress is not inevitable. It's the result of choices we make together. And we face such choices right now. Will we respond to the changes of our time with fear, turning inward as a nation, turning against each other as a people? Or will we face the future with confidence in who we are, in what we stand for, and the incredible things that we can do together? So let's talk about the future. And 4 big questions that I believe we as a country have to answer, regardless of who the next president is, or who controls the next Congress. First, how do we give everyone a fair shot at opportunity and security in this new economy? Second,
I think Marco Rubio needed to grab his glass of water for that.
how do we make technology work for us and not against us, especially when it comes to solving urgent challenges like climate change?
Hello, Obama. You still did not get the memo. Climate change is just the weather. It's supposed to change. And global warming is the biggest hoax on the planet. Global warming has been debunked several times. It's just the disconnect that just disturbs me.
Let's talk about the future. And 4 big questions.
We went through that, okay, but yeah, you want to talk about the future, and you know, but this is what I see, okay. Now, Obama was so disconnected. He's living in his own little world there.
Third, how do we keep America safe and lead the world without becoming its policeman? And finally, how can we make our politics reflect what's best in us and not what's worst?
Problem here, you know, I know the solution to that final question. You know, get rid of all the Democrats. Okay. Now, because all throughout his whole presidency, in the last 7 years, there's been more division brought upon by this president. More division, and he hasn't united us. Okay, there's been more division. This president has been more pig-headed than any president in history. All right, it's been his way or the highway. All right, there's been nothing done. None of the changes and transformations that he has proposed or that he has done have made this country better. It's, you know, this is why it's a mistake to vote Democrat. Yeah, it's definitely a mistake to vote Democrat.
Economy, and a basic fact. The United States of America, right now, has the strongest, most durable economy in the world. We're in the middle of the longest streak of private sector job creation in history.
No, not true at all. All right. Every single job that has been created under Obama has been mostly part-time jobs and low wages. All right.
More than 14 million new jobs, the strongest 2 years of job growth since the 1990s, an unemployment rate cut in half. Our auto industry just had its best year ever.
Wrong again. Okay, no. He didn't save the auto industry, all right, with that bailout. No, he didn't save the auto industry. They went bankrupt under his watch. Okay, remember that? Yep.
That's just part of a manufacturing surge that's created nearly 900,000 new jobs in the past 6 years. And we've done all this while cutting our deficits by almost 3/4.
Wrong again. Here we go. Oh my God. We didn't cut the deficit. You didn't cut the deficits. 18 trillion going on 9 trillion. Hello. We went from 10 trillion when Bush left office. Okay, when Obama became president, the deficit was 10 trillion. Okay. Now, under Obama, we have, in 7 years time, we have had $18 trillion. 18 trillion! And our children and grandchildren are going to be paying that off with interest for decades to come. We have not cut the deficit. He is totally disconnected. Remember, he's forgetting his 7 years. You know, and this last year isn't going to be any better.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
No, Obama's peddling fiction. He is so disconnected. He has run the presidency like an innocent bystander. Okay, you know, every disaster, every attack, and everything that has gone wrong, he's just tried to point the finger another direction. Okay, you know, we have tornadoes and hurricanes and bad weather. He says it's global warming, it's climate change, it's not my fault. You know, no. Okay, and terrorist attack. Okay, he tries to blame it on the guns. Okay, it's the guns' fault. It's not my fault. Okay, we had chaos at our borders, you know, and then he tries to blame it on he tries to blame it on Bush or the Republicans or you know, and then he has a executive order on illegal immigration, and then he tries to run the presidency on by executive fiat. You know, this is not the way the presidency should work. You know, it's not the way our country should work. Okay, he's totally disconnected. You know, totally oblivious to what's going on. Doesn't even understand that what is going wrong now is a result of his failed policies. Okay. The income gap. Okay. He preaches to us about income inequality, but he doesn't understand that it's because of his policies that the gap between the rich and the poor has widened. Right. It's you know, no. He's been going around his presidency saying, trying to make us believe that everything that has gone wrong is not his fault. You know, it's somebody else's fault. No, he's totally disconnected. Totally doesn't realize that he's the one ruining the country and ruining the world.
What is true, and the reason that a lot of Americans feel anxious, is that the economy has been changing in profound ways. Changes that started long before the Great Recession hit, changes that have not let up. Today, technology doesn't just replace jobs on the assembly line, but any job where work can be automated. Companies in a global economy can locate anywhere, and they face tougher competition. As a result, workers have less leverage for a raise. Companies have less loyalty to their communities. And more wealth and income is concentrated at the very top. All these trends have squeezed workers, even when they have jobs, even when the economy is growing. It's made it harder for a hard-working family to pull itself out of poverty, harder for young people to start their careers, tougher.
Actually, no. All of your policies have made it harder for people to pull themselves out of poverty. Oh my gosh, the disconnect is just so disturbing. Oh my goodness.
Two. And although none of these trends are unique to America, they do offend our uniquely American belief that everybody who works hard should get a fair shot.
Actually, it's your policies that offend that belief, not what you said.
Americans short of retirement, basic benefits should be just as mobile as everything else is today. That, by the way, is what the Affordable Care Act is all about. It's about filling the gaps in employer-based care so that when you lose a job, or you go back to school, or you strike out and launch that new business, you'll still have coverage.
Well, Mr. President, your Obamacare is not affordable. It's anything but affordable. All right? And all of that is not true at all. Okay? The Obamacare, that's not what Obamacare is about. Okay? And I'll be the I'm quite open and honest about this, that I will never sign up for Obamacare. All right? It's a disaster.
Coverage so far. And in the process, Speaker Ryan has talked about his interest in tackling poverty. America is about giving everybody willing to work a chance, a hand up. And I'd welcome a serious discussion about strategies we can all support, like expanding tax cuts for low-income workers who don't have children.
How about expanding tax cuts for everybody? All right? Tax cuts across the board. Make it the flat tax. Okay? Just eliminate all of this other nonsense on our tax forms. All right? Abolish the IRS and just make it the flat tax. Okay?
But there are some areas where we just have to be honest. It has been difficult to find agreement over the last 7 years. And a lot of them fall under the category of what role the government should play in making sure the system's not rigged in favor of the wealthiest and biggest corporations.
No. That's the liberal lingo there. All right, that's the liberal lingo there. Okay. Now, I told you before that a lot of his speech was boring. All right, but he did mention
Workers and startups and small.
he did mention Iran in there, but he failed to mention that there were 10 American troops that Iran recently held or took captive for a period, because supposedly they went on their water. All right, and Obama didn't even mention it in his speech. All right, now he says that now he thinks that our union is strong. Right? Now he also went out there, and when he talked about terrorism, okay, he claimed that
It's critical. We need the same level of commitment when it comes to developing clean energy sources. It's up to us, the United States of America, to help remake that system. And to do that well, it means that we've got to set priorities. Priority number one is protecting the American people and going after terrorist networks. Both Al-Qaeda and now ISIL pose a direct threat to our people, because in today's world, even a handful of terrorists who place no value on human life, including their own, can do a lot of damage. They use the internet to poison the minds of individuals inside our country. Their actions undermine and destabilize our allies. We have to take them out. But as we focus on destroying ISIL, over-the-top claims that this is World War III just play into their hands. Masses of fighters on the back of pickup trucks, twisted souls plotting in apartments or garages, They pose an enormous danger to civilians. They have to be stopped. But they do not threaten our national existence. That...
Wait a minute. Now, he just spoke on the out of the both sides of his mouth. There, okay. He said ISIS. He said the terrorists are a threat to us, but they don't threaten our way of life. What? I just don't. You know, a narcissist just lives in his own little world. You know, and you know, I just can't. I just can't imagine. You know, if we have another Democrat for president of the United States, my friends, it will just be the end of us. Okay. Now, and I actually wanted to get into. I actually wanted to get into what I think the Republican response. Okay. Now the Republican response now. All right. And now, with this though, okay. Now, Nikki Haley delivered the Republican response. All right, and here's a little.
And as we usher in this new era, Republicans will stand up for our beliefs. If we held the White House, taxes would be lower for working families, and we'd put the brakes on runaway spending and debt. We would encourage American innovation and success instead of demonizing them, so our economy would truly soar and good jobs would be available across our country. We would reform education so it worked best for students, parents, and teachers, not Washington bureaucrats and union bosses. We would end a disastrous health care program and replace it with reforms that lowered costs and actually let you keep your doctor. We would respect differences in modern families, but we would also insist on respect for religious liberty as a cornerstone of our democracy. We would recognize the importance of the separation of powers and honor the Constitution in its entirety. And yes, that includes the 2nd and 10th Amendments. We would make international agreements that were celebrated in Israel and protested in Iran, not the other way around. And rather than just thanking our brave men and women in uniform, we would actually strengthen our military, so both our friends and our enemies would know that America seeks peace. But when we fight wars, we win them. We have big decisions to make. Our country is being tested, but we've been tested in the past, and our people have always risen to the challenge. We have all the guidance we need to be safe and successful. Our forefathers paved the way for us. Let's take their values and their strengths and rededicate ourselves to doing whatever it takes to keep America the greatest country in the history of man and woman. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
Now, she did a very good job. Okay. Now, there was one part though where people thought that it was in a direct shot at Donald Trump. Okay, but I think Nikki Haley was the perfect pick to respond to the president's address. Okay, now it's a difficult task. Okay, but once again, I want to show a little bit more of
office. Tonight, President Obama spoke eloquently about grand things. He's at his best when he does that. Unfortunately, the president's record has often fallen far short of his soaring words. As he enters his final year in office, many Americans are still feeling the squeeze of an economy too weak to raise income levels. We're feeling a crushing national debt, a health care plan that has made insurance less affordable and doctors less available, and chaotic unrest in many of our cities. even worse, we are facing the most dangerous terrorist threat our nation has seen since September 11th. And this president appears unwilling or unable to deal with it. Soon the Obama presidency will end, and America will have the chance to turn in a new direction. That direction is what I want to talk about tonight. At the outset, I'll say this. You've paid attention to what has been happening in Washington, and you're not naive. Neither am I. I see what you see, and many of your frustrations are my frustrations. A frustration with a government that has grown day after day, year after year, yet doesn't serve us any better. A frustration with the same endless conversations we hear over and over again. A frustration with promises made and never kept. We need to be honest with each other and with ourselves. While Democrats in Washington bear much responsibility for the problems facing America today, they do not bear it alone. There is more than enough blame to go around. We as Republicans need to own that truth. We need to recognize our contributions to the erosion of the public trust in America's leadership. We need to accept that we've played a role in how and why our government is broken. And then we need to fix it. The foundation that has made America that last best hope on earth hasn't gone anywhere. It still exists. It's up to us to return to it. For me, that starts right where it always has. I am the proud daughter of Indian immigrants who reminded my brothers, my sister, and me every day how blessed we were to live in this country. Growing up in the rural South, my family didn't look like our neighbors, and we didn't have much. There were times that were tough, but we had each other, and we had the opportunity to do anything, to be anything, as long as we were willing to work for it. My story is really not much different from millions of other Americans. Immigrants have been coming to our shores for generations to live the dream that is America. They wanted better for their children than for themselves. That remains the dream of all of us. And in this country, we have seen time and again that that dream is achievable. Today, we live in a time of threats like few others in recent memory. During anxious times, it can be tempting to follow the siren call of the angriest voices. We must resist that temptation. No one who is willing to work hard, abide by our laws, and love our traditions should ever feel unwelcome in this country.
Yeah, that's the part where people said that they thought that was a direct shot at Donald Trump. Okay, and they had a conversation about that, and Donald Trump, even at the debate, said that he wasn't mad at her for saying that. All right, but anyway, that's our show for tonight, my friends. You can see the disconnect here, so I need to get into the last words for the night. The last words for the night, of which I want to say that this is a very, very crucial election year, okay? And we need to think of our future, okay? No more deficits, no more sluggish growth, and creating mostly part-time jobs. The economy is in decline under a Democrat, so, and no more Obamacare, okay? Obamacare just is not working for the average American, for the average citizen, okay? It's not working, my friends, okay? But, okay, let's get down to business once again, all right? Vote Republican. Republicans have the better policies. Okay? Now, okay. But that's our show for tonight, my friends. We thank you for watching Political Points, where the right is right, and the left is always on the wrong side of history. Follow me on Twitter at WilliamMetro2, And check me out on YouTube. Once again, thank you for watching Political Points, where the right is right, and the left is always on the wrong side of history.